industry, a young creative person faces, the rejection is the key word when a person comes to write anything, okay?
Sure.
Like the first few scripts get rejected, and the piece could turn out to be the best piece that history has ever seen. But how does one deal with that rejection and stay positive being in advertising?
Well, that's a very good question, and your point is very well taken, because had the client not rejected this original line, we never would have come up with this one that really was a big hit. So yeah, if you're uncomfortable with rejection, if you can't stand rejection or ambiguity, maybe find a different career, because they're going to be no's. How to answer your question? First of all, make sure that you really understand why the rejection. And if that's not clear, keep saying, okay, well, if I understand you, you're having problem with it because this. And sometimes that will lead to a better idea if you once understand it. Another thought is that if now you understand this better, you reframe the presentation using the client's words. So you speak their language. When we last met, you told me that it was a problem for you to think of this idea in this way. We thought your idea was very inspiring, and so we went back and we tweaked this idea. And now we think you have actually helped us make it better. So representing using their language and their ideas. Sometimes that works, and sometimes timing. Sometimes just in another time window, it's better. And then finally, there are times when it's no. Sure. Don't ever come back again with that idea. And what I found was helpful in my own work was if you can have 3 or 4 things going at the same time, and one is getting rejected and so forth, maybe the other one is progressing, so that you're not a total failure. You have something going forward even while you get rejected on this. Those are some of the things as a young creative, I would say.
How would you deal with that?
Keith, this one point that you made just now of presenting something in the client's own words. Actually, it's not. I don't think it's Machiavellian. I think it's something which is, on one hand, is so important, which is when you are doing that, you are actually trying to understand where the client is coming from, where the business is coming from, which sometimes, as restless creatives who want to create great work, right?
Very good point.
We sometimes we sometimes overlook that, or it doesn't even cross our mind. So I think that point is extremely important, that by looking at it from the client, by saying it in client's language, actually I'm forcing myself to look at it from the client's point of view, from his business point of view.
So important. And speak the way they listen.
Absolutely.
And for example, and be sure that you're presenting it in terms that are important to them. So you can start the presentation by saying, first of all, you let them talk and you listen very carefully. But then you say, what would you think if tomorrow morning everyone in India is talking about your brand in the most positive way?
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, well, okay, now the body language comes forward, as opposed to some marketing jargon, or we worked and worked and worked and then we did. So what would you think if that happened tomorrow morning? How could you do that? Well, not positive, but it seemed to us, based on the people we've talked to, and by the way, we have some video of your consumers reacting to the idea that we're about to show you.
Sure. Excellent.
So you haven't even shown the idea yet, and now you're seeing, oh, those are my customers, and they're seeing something they like. Now I want to see it. So those are some of the ways that you can start to reduce the rejection quotient.
Tell me, like some learnings from your journey in advertising that, even apply even today.
Interesting question. First, as a creative person, as a copywriter, I learned, not immediately, but I learned to have faith in the creative process. There is a process that can be described, and if you follow that process, you will come up with an idea. It may not be a brilliant idea, but it will be an original idea. And so now when you face a blank screen or blank paper and you're afraid, and of course all creative people, as you know, are insecure. That's what drives us. So we're sure we never can do anything again. But if you follow that process, and I learned to have faith in that process. I also learned that advertising is a team sport, and that even though a team cannot have an idea, that's an individual act. But only when you reveal that idea to the team, then it becomes a great campaign or a great idea, and people build upon it. It's a team thing, and so that's one thing I learned. I learned the power of an idea to transform a brand. That, you know, human nature stays the same over time and so forth, but and our brands need to find ways to connect with those obsessive drives to be admired and be loved and all those things. An idea, what an idea can do to transform a brand, and what an idea can do to add actually to the product. And people still don't understand this. When we, I don't know if you remember, what's up?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so all right, so what are we doing there? We told August Busch, you know, we can add an ingredient to your product that your best brewmaster cannot add. And that ingredient is hipness and youth.
Nice.
And the brewmaster can't do that.
Yes.
Advertising can do this.
True.
Yes.
Can transform it and become an ingredient that people value. So those are some of the things I learned and then I also learned about how to deal with rejection. And I went somewhere the other night, and I didn't have the right stamp or the right bracelet.
Yeah.
And it was a publication.
Yep.
Yes.
And so I said, that's okay. I'll go away. I have other things to do. I'm used to rejection. I've been in the advertising
Nice.
business for 60 years.
Very nice.
Rejection is very comfortable to me.
Very nice.
And so those are some of the things. As a leader,
Very nice.
as a creative leader, I learned that the first job or the common job of all leaders is to inspire greatness. That's the job. Different leaders do it in different ways, but your job is to inspire greatness, and then to build a culture that nurtures creativity and rewards greatness, that attracts the most talented people, where Sonal wants to come there, and where the environment encourages him and his teams to do great things. And then also, as a leader, to make sure that you're always, if it goes right, always giving the credit to the team, to the account people, to the clients. Without their saying yes, there would be no You Deserve a Break today.
Yes.
How great it was that they were open to that. How wonderful it was that August Busch said, okay, let's try it. You know, so and those are some of the things that stay the same, I think, all through time.
This creative effectiveness reminded me of one of your nuggets in Any Wednesday, where it says that to be creative, study art. To be effective, study audience.
Study audience.
And to be good at both, study the effect of art on the audience.
Yes.
So they asked me to give a short speech about creative effectiveness to a group. And I thought, well, I never gave a speech, and they want a short speech, and I thought about that. It's only about 46 words. But
it's so true.
Yeah.
And coming to Any Wednesday again, there are few, some of the, you must
Do you have
read
a copy?
some of those.
I don't have a copy.
Okay, well, I'll give you this, but it's dog-eared. And so, you know, sometimes it's borrowed wisdom. I was in Thailand, and one of our people there, I was talking about how, you know, if you don't like this business, if somebody doesn't think it's fun, then they should find something else to do. And he said, in the Thai language, we have a word that in proper context means both work and fun. And the word is nyan. So I wrote on Any Wednesday saying, are we all having nyan yet? And So sometimes I borrow some wisdom, sometimes I have an original thought like that one. Sometimes it's very short, like sometimes the best answer to a question is, I don't know. Especially if that sends you charging off to learn
something else.
About what the answer might be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, right now it's a lot easier to find that answer. I mean, in the old days we had research and it took days. Now we can Google whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes a sense of humor. I was walking to work one day and I saw a utility in New York. I see a utility truck for an electrical company parked above the street. No one's there. The workers are down under the street. And on the side of the truck is the message from the company. It says, ask me how to save on electricity. And somebody with a spray gun said, I don't talk to no trucks. So it's an early interactive.
You called it low-tech interactivity.
Yeah. So,
And the other one I liked was be prepared to be foolish.
yeah.
And that I thought was...
I decided that's the first rule of creativity. Be prepared to be foolish. If you're not willing to have people laugh and snicker at your idea, you probably never say anything original because you'll be afraid. You know, how many times in a meeting you say, wish I had said, I was thinking of something like that, but I was afraid to say it.
Correct.
And sometimes it is foolish, but that's
true.
okay.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
being on the show. Thank you, Sonal. Thanks for co-hosting the show with me today.
Thank you very much, Shivani, for this show today, and thank you, Keith, for all the wisdom that I could get face to face in Cannes, which is a...
Thank you for inviting me, and we have to thank Sonal too for all the great work he's doing.
Yes,
So,
of course.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
very good.